This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Thanks for staying with us. Next, Paul stresses the importance of commodity groups working together on policy issues that affect them all.
Duane Toews joining you once again with AGam in Kansas. And while at the Kansas Commodity Classic in Manhattan, an opportunity to catch up with Paul Penner, immediate past president of the National Association of Wheat Growers. And Paul, you're at a meeting today, but relative to your time serving as a national president of an organization, I would guess your schedule maybe has slowed down just a bit.
Well, it has a little bit, but I was amazed looking at my travel schedule last year, especially when I was turning in my expenses. I realized I was actually traveling more than I expected to, but it's been a relief that I've not had the major responsibility of attending a lot of the meetings or the conference calls that the president has, because the leader is usually on call for a lot of functions that the rest of the officers doesn't have. But that said, it's been a rewarding experience, and it's something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life.
We think about some of the things that were discussed here at Commodity Classic, the opportunity to be a part of an organization. All the grains, wheat, grain, sorghum, and corn, had national representatives here from the head offices that talked about supporting your organizations. They are the boots on the ground in Washington, D.C. that look out and address those policy issues that have an impact on growers' bottom line.
Yes, that's correct. And it's very important that all the organizations are able to work together on policy, because a lot of these policy issues like waters of the U.S., EPA regulations, labor issues, grain standards, exports, TPP, you name it, whatever topic it is, most organizations have a common interest, and it's important that we're able to work together as a unit, a unified force, to pass legislation that's meaningful to our farmers back home.
One of the discussion issue points was that stocks-to-use ratios are rising. Wheat, one of those that globally we have an awful lot of wheat out there. It appears the United States really is going to have to position itself as a quality wheat provider, not quantity.
Well, that's a big point of concern. Yes, we are, without a doubt, a quality producer and an exporter of grain. You talk to anybody in the world that buys our wheat or has bought wheat from elsewhere, and they will definitely say that we do provide quality wheat. That said, there's a big concern right now in the wheat industry that we have lost market share, and it's been too much. You have to have bushels in order to compete. In order to be able to sell, you got to produce. And right now, the wheat acres has been declining. We used to be able to produce around 85 million acres of wheat, and we're down to below 60 million. And it's trending lower. Even this year, our state, Kansas State, production is even less than was last year. So the one thing that's really important is we need to look for ways with research and with other methods to be able to increase profitability and production, so the farmer will actually choose to grow wheat and remain competitive.
We talked about in this particular conference a lot of those issues that in ultimate reality is, though, exports are going to be what makes that bottom line work for us. We produce more than we can utilize here in the U.S.
Definitely. We generally in Kansas, the assumption is 50% of our total production is exported. And, for PNW states, Pacific Northwest, that's up to 90 or 95% they export. So export business is definitely, crucial for us to be successful. That said, again, we need to make sure that we're competitive. And when we're in a declining industry like we have seen our production go, our costs are increasing. We're not as competitive on the open market, even though we are known as a quality supplier. There are some countries that will purchase our products without question, but there's other countries that have less resources. They are price choosers, and so it's important for us, if we want to capture market share of these markets, we have to be competitive, and the only way to do that is to produce more grain.
Our thanks to Paul Penner, a producer, a past president of the National Association of Wheat Growers, joining us here at Commodity Classic in Manhattan. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, come back after the break and meet Dr. Eric DeWolf, a wheat disease specialist from Kansas State University.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.